It's said that all black people in this country have mental problems and that they suffer from post-traumatic slave syndrome. I can buy that. I can say since becoming a parent, being black has become more stressful and mentally challenging. Dealing with the whole racial situation, how to talk to a kid on a level that they understand, what environments to place them in, what environments not to place them in, all of it, it just becomes a lot. Research shows that all children by the age of 3 or 4 know the racial order, which is it's better to be white. This is the relentless message parents of black children are up against. Because of the diet of deception fed to us by our enemies 24/7, we have to work extra hard to instill a sense of pride and self-worth. White people don't have to go through life representing their people. The system represents for them. They're racially affirmed in childhood. They're placed in cultural definitions of what's valuable, what's beautiful, what's right, what's normal. It is immersed in institutions, religion, education, media, language, economics, and criminal justice. They're continually reflected in the teachers, in the leaders, in the movies. They're born into a society that they are a member of. The message white children receive is they belong. Judgments that we make are predicated on examples that we see. So white people can't help but to have internalized racial superiority. That is in them. Even when they marry black people, it's still there. That's why when I hear black people explaining how they don't hate white people or how all white people aren't bad, it's just nonsense to me, and it just shows conditioning. Because how can we hate them when that's what we're taught? How can we hate what we're taught to value? How can we hate them when they're plastered all over? We don't have to say there's some good white people. That's always affirmed that there's some good white people. We need to be affirming that not all black people are bad. Anyway, the white people they're in from kids, they see them in the learning programs, in textbooks, flashcards, cartoons, advertisements on baby food, children magazines. Black boys are almost invisible. In these kids' books, cartoons, commercials, the learning programs, you rarely see a black boy. You'll see black girls, but you don't see the black boys. Because of this, I have to navigate in a way that keeps the enemy from destroying his self-image and prevents him from buying into the falsehood that white is better, the white neighborhood is better, the white school is better. So here I am, pasting pictures over pictures in books, pulling off covers to books, making covers for books, cutting out images on charts, because I always have to examine how I may be contributing to the social engineering. That means letting go of some things, maybe some traditions. I let go of collecting fashion magazines and other magazines that cater to the white image. And just letting go of maybe things that I valued that maybe I was taught to value or generations before me were taught to value, like celebrating certain holidays in a way that doesn't profit us but actually puts us at a disadvantage. I'm careful about what he watches and how much. I limit TV to 2 hours a day. I tried to avoid TV altogether, but handing him over to my mother so I can get a break shattered that game plan. So I agreed to PBS because at least he won't be exposed to tons of commercials. And I admit I do use these shows to steal a moment for myself to write a little or do something without being interrupted. So the shows I put them in front of, I have to be able to trust them. And on the most part, PBS, it's okay. Still, it's some bull with it. Bob the Builder was disappointing. The only black character that's on there really is, or I should say like the main black character that's on there is portrayed as dumber than the trucks. He's in awe of Bob. He's always the one messing up and goofing off. Bob has been heard talking to him in a condescending tone. And his best attribute appears to be his dance moves, even though he's a construction worker. So the kid was into it because of the trucks and the tolls. I was frustrated that I introduced him to it. And that's the thing. Even though PBS kid shows are more wholesome, is it really healthy for black kids to watch shows that white faces always outnumber blacks, where white boys or men are the only ones going on adventures, discovering stuff, solving the mystery, being in control or being cool? We keep partaking in their bullshit, then holler about the mind state of our people. I picked up a book in the library. Do you want to play trucks? Now, I usually read the books before I bring them into the house, but this one I just scanned through it quickly, and it seemed like a win. It was simple words that he can practice reading, pictures of trucks that he likes. It was short enough to be a before bed read, and one of the main characters was a black boy. Reading that book to him, I came across some things that disturbed me. The book was addressing differences that people have, but then finding common ground. So one boy was black, one boy was white, and one wanted to play with the truck, one wanted to play with the doll. The black boy wanted to play with the doll. So I'm like, what the fuck? We already have enough of this feminization of black males in media today. And I'm looking at this book like, are they starting from here? Now, this isn't even about the roles of, oh, trucks are for boys, girls, dolls are for girls. Some roles are just natural, because when my little boy was, before he could even speak, he was excited about trucks. I had to learn the names of the trucks so that I can give him a language so he can communicate better. And my thing is, you hardly find black boys in books. So when I get a book to read him, I don't want it to be on some boy that wants to play with a doll that's wearing a tutu arguing about why it should be in a truck. I feel like that's the oppositional stance, because it's natural for boys to gravitate towards trucks. So put that stance on the white kid. White kids are shown in every type of light. So to me, these things are done intentionally, and it can be done out of their bias. But the thing is that, if it doesn't matter who's playing with the doll, then you should have made it the white kid, right? But then who am I to say how they should do their thing? So pretty much I wasn't happy about this book. And then I stated that. So the kid's like, why? Why don't you like the book? And then I can't really get into this with him. Because my thing is, yeah, maybe he is just looking at it like, oh, okay, they're just trying to show that it's okay if a boy wants to play with a doll. But I also look at, what is the bigger message? What's the hidden message? What's the other message that he's going to get? Here's a kid that hardly sees a black kid in books. So now you show him one. So now, is this what I'm supposed to be like? Should I be playing with dolls? Especially because this message is so thrown out there. Like, this is the way that you're going to be received in society when you make yourself a little bit more girlish. And this is one of several things that makes being black more stressful as a parent, or makes parenting more stressful as a black person. These things that you have to really look at a little deeper and just not overlook, or that you do have to read more into, bottom line. So I'll probably do a part 2 and a part 3 of things that make parenting stressful as a black person. And not to complain about the things, but to address the problems so that we can have a discussion on how we can make changes for the better. Even with this, how can we make this better? This media that we have to deal with. We can, one, stop ignoring the problem and having a lackadaisical attitude about it. And then maybe we'll change our attitude about what we accept as entertainment and education for ourselves and our kids, especially in this time that we are in. Maybe it will inspire us to create more things to serve our people, more media. Maybe we'll spend our money towards our own media, different things like that. The abundance of the successful learning programs like the Kumons, the Sylvans, ABC Mouse, it demonstrates how they dominate. And it demonstrates that there's markets that black people are leaving untouched. With more black people homeschooling their kids, this is the time for black people to have learning programs that can compete with the Sylvans, the Kumons, the ABC Mouse, and get on it before they realize it and then put us in a position where we can't even compete with it. So it's just something to think about. And that's about it for this commentary. Thanks for listening. Take it in and win.